Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast, High Risk for Heartbreak. I am your host, Christina, and I'm so glad you decided to join me today. For those of you who are new here, I pray you find value in at least one thing I say today. And to my old and faithful returning crew, you know just how much I appreciate you. Without further ado, let's jump into it. I've spent a number of holidays alone. Living around the country, I have spent a lot of holidays actually alone. I had to pick at times and choose which holidays that I was going to come home for to spend with my family while I was living in NYC, while I was living in LA. And honestly, so many of those holidays I actually willfully spent alone. Sometimes though with local friends, but a lot of them I spent alone. And because I'm a bit of a loner anyway, it was never really an issue for me, even on a holiday. Now, sometimes I was just talking with a friend about this earlier. Sometimes I would cook, but other times it would just be a regular day. And I know a lot of people hate to hear that, especially people that know me because they know I'm very celebratory, especially of the Christmas season. Now, I didn't say I didn't celebrate, but I did say I spent it alone. However, when I met a man of my past, things changed a little bit for me because he was the type to always see his family. I mean, every holiday they celebrated, and they celebrated the days in between the holidays too. There was a lot of family time, and I wasn't necessarily used to that. Now, while my family would get together on the holidays, my parents moved away from their families literally to another city when, they had just been getting started. So I didn't grow up with my extended family immediately next to us. So we had to go for special occasions to go see them. And I think that's kind of where this all developed from in the first place. But when I saw that so blatantly juxtaposed in my former, his relationship with his family, I was like, wow, that's so different. It was really, really different. Now, it was interesting because I spent a few holidays with his family, or special occasions and holidays. However, he didn't spend any with mine, and that wasn't by his choosing. In fact, I would say that he actually asked me many times when we were going to go spend those holidays with my family, and I was never clear with him. Now, I have since done some digging about that because I didn't realize that that was a protective thing. And also there's something definitely there with me not wanting to introduce or create memories with someone who's not my husband. Okay, there's something there with that. But I will say at the time I was not clear for myself like I am now. Holidating, or bringing home a significant other, is probably one of the most significant markers of the seriousness of your relationship. At least it used to be. Now, I wish I could say that was the reason that I didn't bring him home for Christmas, but I don't think it was about how far we had gone and how serious we had gotten. I think it was really different for me. I just really protected my family and my memories. But also, Christmas being so significant to me, I think was one of those holidays I just wanted to make sure all the memories that surround that are beautiful ones that never end. Now, I will say two things. This particular person did meet my extended family after my maternal grandfather passed away, and I think that was the first time that he had ever met my extended family. It was a solemn time, but I think that was the first, it was a significant time is what I'm saying. And I think that is even also a big signifier of his place in my life at this season in my life. Now, secondly, I will say that it wasn't about his significance again. I just couldn't put a finger on it until recently, but I generally wouldn't let people meet my family. My best friend is probably the only person that has been long-term in my life that has met my immediate family with the exception of this ex. And, I just do not introduce people to my family or even to my close friends. Now, this has not even been a thought, like a conscious thought until I was writing this outline for this episode where I really was like, hold on, wait a second. I don't really do that. Why don't I do that? And I started asking myself the questions and I arrived at my answer, thankfully. But I want to talk about this because I think some of us might be okay with holidating, and there's nothing wrong with that if you are. There are a lot of people that are extremely generous that will offer people to come over for Thanksgiving, especially if they have nowhere to go. I have personally been invited to people's Thanksgivings and have gone, whether it's a Friendsgiving or someone from church, because I was alone. And I'm grateful for that, but I definitely didn't need to be there. But those are a different type of generous heart, right? I think when it comes to dating, there's something very significant about bringing someone home to be scrutinized, okay, and judged and questioned. That's scrutinized and interrogated by your family, by the people that are closest to you, by the people that you love the most, and the people that know the most about you as well. It can be quite exposing of you. And, it's supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year. Like, why are we focusing on me so much? You know what I mean? No, but truthfully, we may have our reasons why we don't bring someone home. And we may have our reasons why we are absolutely okay bringing someone home. Now, I have brilliant memories of Thanksgiving and Christmas as a child, and I want that time to remain wonderful to me. Amen. Even in creating new memories. So I will probably remain the way that I am, protective over whoever gets to meet my family and spend time and create memories with me and my family. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it really is just personal preference. But I do understand that for some, it's just not a big deal. Bring someone home for the holidays. They need some joy. They need some love. And allowing your family and your friends to spend quality holiday time with each other, your family and friends and special friends, to be spending time with your family is a beautiful thing. I don't think it's a wrong thing, okay? I just want to reiterate that. I do, however, want to hear your stories in the comments about holidating and what your thoughts are on bringing someone home. Like, do you have to have a amount of time that you've been seeing someone? What does their significance need to be in your life for you to bring them home and create memories on holidays with them? Or does it even need to be that real for you? Are you just more like, no, we just share in these things with each other, and it's okay if they come and they go? Either way, I want to hear in the comments, please let me know if you are okay with holidating, and I might need to follow up this episode and talk about some holidating etiquette. I think that would actually be a really great episode. Some things that we can do if we are out there in the world and we're seeing someone during this very joyous season that can, throw you off if you're not being keen and aware, okay? Because it is a joyous season. It's very easy to get wrapped up, okay? In the pajama pictures and all that stuff. So maybe I need to do an episode. I'm going to write that down and see if I can get something drummed up. Holidating etiquette. And anyway, put your stories in the comments below. I would love to hear your stories. I thank you guys so much for loving yourself first so that you can then go and love your neighbor. Until next time.